What is up, gamers and gentlemen? It's been a hot minute since I've posted a video, and, well, I was up in the mountains. I went for a week of basically isolated training in the mountains, and no way I can make goddamn video in the mountains, no computer, but I'm back now, and so I'm recording videos. Now, I'm going in for surgery soon, so I'm actually going to be recording videos like in a bunch. So there's going to be probably 4 videos with no featured comment. I'm sorry, you know I like doing the featured comment, but I'm recording them all in a chunk because I'm not going to try and force myself to record post-surgery. I'm going to be in bed a lot, and, it just doesn't sound very fun. But today, I would like to talk to you about Manhwa, because while I may have been isolated up in the mountains, thanks to the marvels of modern technology, I had a cell phone with me, and it still got, 5G reception. So I was able to read a couple of chapters of manga when I had downtime, and it really got me thinking, manhwa usually fucking suck after a while. Specifically, I read the new chapter of Solo Leveling, and I was just like, God damn, this series sucks. Like, it was so good, and now it's so bad. And then it got me thinking, like, that's really, really common for manhwa. I mean, I should have, if I was smart, I should have made a list, but manhwa that fell off, really popular ones that I can think of just off the top of my head would be Solo Leveling, like I mentioned earlier, but Rooftop Swordmaster, God of High School, The Gamer, Lookism. I mean, these are big name series, and they all have the same problem. They've all fallen off over time. Now, it would be very easy for a glass half empty type of guy like me to just say, oh, the reason manhwa fall off is because manhwa writers are trash and they suck and they're just not as good as manga writers. Which, by the way, I know that sometimes manga fall off too, but it is not a widespread problem like it is in manhwa. But I actually don't think that it's a problem of quality. I think that manhwa have just as many really talented teams and artists and writers. They have just as many resources. So I don't necessarily think it's a quality or skill problem here. I really only have one working theory, and it's not a theory that I'm super sure about, but it seems like more often than not, when manhwa become long-running series, right? Like, it's very common for these to have a couple hundred plus chapters. When they get to this point, it seems like more often than not, they lose sight of their vision, right? A really good example is Lookism, one of the series that I thought brought up earlier. It started off as a series tackling body image issues and the way society deals with fat and ugly people, and there was a lot of body switching back and forth between Daniel, and then for like hundreds of chapters in a row, it just devolved into another generic fighting manhwa, which of course I still liked because I love fighting. I love reading about it. I love doing it. But it definitely lost sight there for a little bit. And my working theory is it seems like manhwa are played closer to the chest, right? Like, manga are very, what's the word? Decentralized is not what I'm thinking of, but like detached, right? Like, manhwa sort of just get released and people consume. There's not a huge constant level of interaction between manga authors and the fans, where it seems like manhwa has a much closer relationship with fans, especially series on apps like Webtoon that have direct comment sections. And so one of my only real working theory for why manhwa fall off so hard all the time is that maybe because they have a more direct relationship with fans, and viewers and readers, that they see that direct feedback and let it influence them. And so instead of going the direction they originally wanted to and sticking with their original vision, maybe it's a situation where they just start trying to please fans and do things like that instead of sticking with their guns. But like I said, that's just my working theory. This has been kind of going over in my brain for the last couple days since I got home, and I really can't, like, I don't know enough about either industry to make any other guess other than this. The only real difference I know is just that manhwa are played closer to the fans. Fans have more direct interaction with the authors and teams, so maybe that could be what's impacting us, like I said before. But I really don't know. I don't know enough about either industry. So I'm curious what you guys think. If you guys have any theories of your own, I would love to hear them, because this is such a widespread problem. It happens often enough that there's some strange disconnect happening. And I mean, obviously, for the sake of the future of Manhwa, it's our duty here as the Giga Chads on the Squid the Cynic channel to identify that problem and ruthlessly call it out until it gets changed. And here's the thing. There are exceptions to every rule. I think exceptions to every rule might be the most commonly said sentence on this channel. It's something I've said since day one, probably. I'm sure several of you listening to this are typing away right now in the comment section saying, what the fuck, my favorite manhwa doesn't fall off. There are exceptions to every rule, and on top of that, shut yo bitch ass up, because you're probably wrong about your favorite manhwa falling off because you're biased and you're a little bitch. Overall, this is just, I don't know, a side note or a little tangent or just a thought. Manhwa have a problem with consistency, right? If you were to picture in your head the perfect story graph. In fact, you know what? Let me pull up MS Paint and show it to you. Okay, here we are, blank canvas in MS Paint. So if I were to show you the ideal, basically, graph, the arc that a story would take. Let's say this right here is like chapter 200. That looks like shit, but bear with me. So ideally you would want to build up, and let's say 200 is about your end point. So you'd want to build up and then do this, right? This is what your ideal graph would look like, because anyone who knows anything about story writing knows that you can't keep going up. You can't keep peaking and reaching new heights. Eventually, if your story is going to end, it has to reach a peak, and then you have to have a conclusion, and then, you know, maybe some afterthought and some, world ending. I know that's a weird term, but like tying up loose ends type of thing. So this is how it would look ideal, right? It would gradually go up, get better, stop at a peak, and then it would plateau while every storyline and character arc ties up and finishes. Now, if we were to graph out Manhwa's normal story arc, it would be like this. It would just do this constantly. And then eventually you end up fuck knows where. And this is one of the problems with Manhwa, right? It goes up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. There is no consistency in its arc. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that very highly produced graph segment. It took about $17 million and 1,000 CGI artists working around the clock. But that's going to do it. That's it for this video. I mean, like I said before, I'm very curious as to what people think, or if people have any insight they can offer. You know, any Koreans out there that work in Manhwa, if you're watching this video, let me know, dude. Like I said before, I don't think that Manhwa writing is inherently worse or lower quality or lower skilled, but for some reason, inconsistency plagues almost every long-running Manhwa out there, and it's, I don't know, horrifying, disgusting, annoying. It needs to stop. All of the above. What more can I even say? I've illustrated it for you. Not perfectly, not well, but I have illustrated it. So that's going to do it for this video. Like I said, no featured comment in the next few, because they're all going to be recorded in a batch, probably over the next day. And then I'm going to be going into surgery, and I'll be recovering. And then when I come back, we're going to have Squid Redemption Arc unofficial Season 2 happening. Let's go, baby.